If you have ever felt lost on how to market your coaching business, this is going to be the single most important video that you will literally ever watch in your career. It's as simple as that, right? Because if you don't know how to market yourself, if you don't know how to get your messaging out there in the right way, if you don't know how to have your dream clients coming to you every single day, you don't have a business, you don't have any chance of success, and your chances of building the life that you want with the business that you dreamed of are pretty much next to zero if you don't know how to market yourself. So like I said, today I'm going to break down for you and show you the simplest way possible of you marketing your coaching business. Now here's the thing, there's a lot of strategies out there, there's a lot of complexity, there's a lot of things that just don't make sense with the way people are doing it. But here's what I have understood over the years of working with coaches. Coaches aren't salesmen, coaches aren't marketers, and because of that, they need simplicity and they need direct, straight to the point advice. And that's exactly what you're going to get here today. Now, obviously, you don't know me. My name is Alexandros. For short, you can call me Alexi. And essentially what I do is I take the guesswork out of sales and marketing for coaches so that they can focus on what they want to be doing, which is coaching, and as a byproduct of these things, be able to grow with consistency and predictability. Now, at the time of recording, I've spent close to £100,000 on advertising campaigns and marketing campaigns for myself and for my clients, and I've generated myself and my clients multi six figures in revenue from the marketing advice that I'm going to show you today. So like I said, if you're genuinely looking to grow, if you're ready to take things to the next level, if you're ready to stop worrying about marketing and how the hell do you do it, this is all you're going to ever need. And like I said, the mistakes and the years and the money that I've spent are all going to be put together in this video to get you that shortcut and get you the result you want. So let's get straight into this, right? Now, like I said, if you're lost in your business, how to market it, here is some help, okay? Now, what I've found, okay, is that when it comes to actually marketing your coaching business, again, like I said, there's a lot of complexity around it. There's a lot of different things that you could do. There's a lot of different approaches that you could take. But realistically, what I found is no matter what type of coach I've worked with, no matter what niche they're in, it always comes down to three basic things as to whether that coach is going to be successful in their marketing. Three basic things. And when I was designing this simple Canva board that you can see in front of you here, I was thinking to myself, okay, well, let's call this something cool. So I've decided to call it the Holy Trinity of marketing, because if you don't have these three things within your coaching business, when you're trying to market yourself, you don't have a marketing campaign, you're not going to get clients. It's literally as simple as that. So these are the core fundamental foundations of what you need to market your coaching business. And if you have these alone, without any complexity, without all the complex funnels and other silly things that people tell you to do, with this alone, you can go very, very far. And I've seen it time and time again. So let's have a look at this Holy Trinity. So this is the Holy Trinity, okay? ICP, shopfront, and traffic. If you have these three things in place, you will win. Now, again, you may not know what these things mean right now, so just allow me to explain it, enjoy the video, take it all in, because like I said, if you're ready to grow, if you're ready to succeed, this is what you're going to need, okay? So let's start with ICP. So ICP stands for Ideal Client Profile. And very simply, like I said, I'm going to keep this video simple. It's not going to be too technical. It's not going to be too over the top in detail, but ICP, Ideal Client Profile, is literally who exactly do you help? Now, you have probably heard a million times people saying to you, you need to have a niche, you need to tell me who your target avatar is. And a lot of coaches get frustrated by it, but there is a very simple reason and a very structured reason as to why everybody needs to know that. Because if you don't have a niche, if you don't know who you're helping, you simply can't market yourself. It is literally as simple as that. It's not rocket science. If you can't say to me, who are you looking for, you can't find them, right? It's as simple as that. So I guess a good analogy, and to break it down for you this way, is think of it like this, okay? Marketing is like calling out to find the people that you want. Calling out, grabbing their attention so they can come to you. That's essentially what it is, okay? Now, think of it like this, and to show you the power of understanding who exactly you help. Imagine you're in a party, right, and you go with some of your friends, and there's two scenarios. So scenario one, you lose your friends in the party and you're trying to find them. So to try and find them, you shout the word friend over and over again at the top of your lungs. A few people look around, people are like, what is this guy talking about, or girl? And nobody actually comes to you because you're not speaking directly to them. Scenario two, again, you've lost your friends, but to find them, you shout exactly their name. If you shouted exactly for their name, they're going to turn around straight away. And here's the common misconception about marketing. People think that if they go broad and they shout the word friend, that it's going to turn a lot of heads, and as a result of that, bring in a lot of people. But it's the same as in the party scenario. If you shout the word friend, you turn a lot of heads, but no one actually comes to you because you're not speaking to them. If you shout your friend's name, they're going to turn around and come directly to you. So it's extremely important that you have this definition and that you do this within your marketing. It's as simple as that. It's a no-brainer. So no matter what you think, no matter what beliefs you currently have or preconceived notions of what you're supposed to do and how, like I said, I've spent close to 6 figures on marketing campaigns for myself and for the coaches that I've worked with. The people that struggle and the people who don't initially do as well as they want to are the ones who aren't willing to define a niche clearly. It's as simple as that. Without this, you cannot proceed, right? And every coach that I work with, the first thing we do, we have a 90-minute session and we deep dive into the target avatar. Because like I said, without that, nothing's happening, okay? And let me give you a little bit of help here on how to actually define that. So what I say to everyone, the simplest way to define exactly who you help is this formula. So I help X person achieve Y outcome and overcome Z problem. Literally as simple as that, right? You want to plug and play your target avatar into this one-liner. And this will give you a basis and a structure of what to be doing and how to progress with your marketing message, essentially. And what you then need to do is that once you've defined that client avatar, everything you do needs to be geared towards that person. So some real mindset sort of tips and tricks to help you on this is that every piece of content that you post needs to be posted with the intention of, does it align with this target person? Is it going to benefit them? Is it going to help this person see me as an expert? Right? And if you don't have that in place and you don't have that thought process in place, your marketing is going to feel unaligned. Right? Your marketing is just like everything that you're doing online to try and find your client avatar. For example, that might be outreach, that might be content, that might be just setting up a website, right? But if it's not speaking directly to this person that you define, you're not going to get anywhere. As simple as that. Now, here are some rules for how to actually define this one-liner. So, first of all, it needs to be for one person, solving one problem, and offering to solve one transformation that you're offering to them, right? As simple as that. The rule is 1-1-1, okay? So, for example, you can't say, I help entrepreneurs and I help carers to reduce stress in it, like, because it's just too confusing. The messaging is too scattered, okay? As well as that, you want to, when you're doing your marketing message, you want to sort of speak to the overarching problems. So, okay, for example, I help coaches with more than just getting clients and marketing. I help them with how to produce the content. I help them with how to define their niche. I help them with how to run adverts. I help them with all of these things. But in my marketing message, I need to speak to the overarching thing. So for me, that's sales and marketing, because that is the overarching thing. Okay, so this is the rule you need to make for yourself when defining your niche. One person, one problem, one transformation. As simple as that, right? And some questions to ask yourself to help you come to this, for example, is what's my story? Because a lot of people are coaching from experience. If you're not coaching from experience, you can ask yourself who are your favorite types of people to work with, who have you got the best results for, things like that to try and really help you to do that. And look, if you're in a place where you've always struggled with your niche and your marketing message and you just don't know how to define it, you've watched all the videos on it and you're still stuck, feel free to drop me a message on Instagram. I'll link my Instagram in the description of this video. Just drop me a message, tell me you watched this video and you're still unsure, and I'll send you a quick voice note helping you to define that. So that's the first thing, client avatar, right? Simple as that. You want to succeed with your marketing, you want to get to where you want to get to, define your client avatar, make it clear, plug it into this formula, make sure it's clear, tangible, defined, and geared towards one person solving one problem, offering one transformation. If you do that, you're 90% ahead of 90% of coaches, okay? Because most people miss this step, then they go, oh, I don't know why nothing's working. Nothing's working because it's not in place, okay? So that's the first step. So let's go back to the Holy Trinity. So that's ICP. Get clear on the target avatar. Get so intimately clear on them that you know exactly how to speak to them with every single thing that you do, right? So for me, with my content, go across my page. You'll see that everything that I do is so intentional and so geared towards coaches who are stuck in this situation that it makes it almost impossible for me to not attract them because I'm so clear and so specific on it, okay? So that's the first thing. So now let's look at shop front. Now you're probably thinking, what the hell does that mean? But let me explain, right? Shop front is the front of a shop. We all know what that is. Now, what I've tend to find with a lot of coaches is they don't see their business as having a shop front because they're online, which is understandable, but I actually disagree with that. So let me explain. So when you go in person, you walk down the street in your local area, there are brick and mortar businesses, okay? And with any brick and mortar business, they have signs, they have products in the window and things like that. Now, what you will find is that most coaches have set up their online business like this brick and mortar business, right? Imagine walking down the high street or in your local area or through your town centre, wherever you live, and sign and you see no products in the window. If you saw that, you wouldn't even consider going into that shop because you don't know what it's about, you don't know who it's for, you don't know if there's anything you're going to like. It wouldn't even process in your brain that that shop's there because there's nothing to see. Whereas if you walked past this flower shop, you can clearly see that there's flowers, you can clearly see that they've got products and what types of flowers they've got. So what it does is it opens the opportunity for you to look in, and if you like it and if you're curious, it opens the door of opportunity for you to come into the store and explore it more. Now, most coaches online are like this brick and mortar business, okay? They either have no shop front, nothing to display, nothing to show, nothing to hook people in, or if they do have people in, it's not targeted, it's not direct, it's not linked to that ICP that we've just defined. And so you're not capturing people that could potentially be coming into your store, as simple as that, right? So what you need to do secondly is you need to build out your shop front online. You need to open the door of opportunity for people to be able to come into your shop or be able to look into your shop and go, wow, okay, this is interesting. I'm curious to know more about this coach and how they could help me, okay? And the way that you do that is very simply on Instagram. So allow me to explain. Once you've defined your client avatar, your Instagram becomes your shop front. It's literally as simple as that. Your bio is like your sign to hook them in, to show them who you are and what you'll do. Your content is like your products in the window. Okay, so let me explain to you and break down to you how to do this. Okay, so let's actually sort of draw like an Instagram page. Actually, let me get a screenshot of my Instagram and then we'll break it down. Okay, so here's my Instagram, okay? And this is my shop front. This is how I treat it and this is how I think of it. And this is what I tell coaches to do as well. Because like I said, we don't have physical in-person businesses that people can just walk past and see what we're doing and come in and be curious to buy. So this is our opportunity for people to, if they stumble upon us, to capture them, to hook them in and to build us the opportunity of being able to get them as clients, okay? So let me break down how to build your shop front and what you should be doing on social media. And again, this is a really key concept of your marketing. So let me just get a pen here. So, okay. So this section of your page is like the sign at the front of the shop, okay? This is what's going to hook people in. Now, your name and things like that should just be your name, very simply, and your profile picture should just be a clean professional headshot. But your bio, the bio of your social media, is like your hook. It's like your elevator pitch. It's the reason that people are going to stop and come and look into your store. So if you don't get this spot on, it's not going to work. And this is why I told you to define your client avatar here with this formula, because this is the formula that you're going to put into the first line of your bio. So really, in your bio of your Instagram, you want first line to show who you help and how. Second line, share some social proof, because again, anybody could come online and say, I help this person do this. And thirdly, have a call to action. Simple as that. Treat that as your shop front. If you don't have that aligned, if you don't have that in place, people are going to just walk past your store. It's going to be like this. You're going to be like this shop if you don't have that. Okay? So that's what you want to do to hook people. Now, your content, the way you want to treat your content is that your content is like the flowers in this store. It's what allows people to peek into the store and go, I'm interested to learn more about that. Okay? Now, the way that I treat my content is that, one, I want it to make me look like the expert that I am on this topic for coaches, so that they almost see me as a no-brainer to look into and to be able to help them. And two, I want it to be genuinely valuable for my target avatar, so that when my target avatar lands on my page, they're like, wow, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy's clearly an expert on this topic. I want to learn more about this and see how he can potentially help me. It's literally as simple as that. Okay, so the way to do this and the way to build out your shop front is think of it like this. So you want to split up your content into three ways. So 40% is one split of content, 30, 30. So this is the split. So 30%, and I'll explain this in a moment, is problems, micro problems. 30% is sharing results, 30% is sharing you, okay? So problems, micro problems. So what you want to be sharing, and these are really like your products. These are really like your products in your store, like these flowers here, okay? So what you want to be sharing is, think of it this way, right? Your target client has a big overarching problem, but what makes up that problem are loads of little micro problems, okay? So for example, for me, the overarching problem for coaches is getting clients. What makes that up though is that coaches don't know how to define a niche, they don't know how to create content, they don't know how to produce a shop front, for example, they don't know how to run ads, they don't know how to sell, they don't know how to use Instagram to get leads, etc., etc. So all of these topics are micro problems my client avatar has. So what I do is I create content on these topics, and these are like my mini products in the shop front, because when people come onto my page and they see these micro problems being solved, they're like, wow, okay, I have that problem. This is really useful that this guy's solving that specific problem for me. And that way people get hooked in and they want to learn more, right? They follow, they message you, then have opportunity to book them in for a call. It's literally, it's really, really simple, but a lot of people miss this step and the ICP step, so they're not able to do this. So that's the first thing. 30% results is very simple. Share results across the page, right? So this stuff is great, and you can get very far with this, but if you want to go even further, share results. So as you can see on mine, in here, if you go on my page, you'll see a collection of interviews with the coaches that I've worked with, testimonials, Trustpilot reviews, again, the interviews, client results, again, sharing how many deals I've helped coaches to close and things like that. It's really, really simple stuff. But if you don't have this, you're not going to hook people into your shop front. And again, for example, like in stores, you might see like on the window, you might they might have a little sticker that shows how many 5-star reviews they've got, how many Google ratings they've got, or Trustpilot, or like in restaurants, they'll do like their hygiene rating. This is the exact same thing. We're doing the exact same thing with sharing 30% of our results, right? And the last 30% is sharing who you are. Now, this is something that these stores can't replicate, and it builds a lot more trust with us, but we need to build more trust as a byproduct of being online, very simply. So what you want to do is, especially for coaches and any type of online business, but especially for coaches, is people buy the coach, not the coach in. So people need to buy into you, what you're doing, and that they can trust you and they relate to you. So you need to do a few different things. Share your story. Why should people listen to you if you walk the path that they want to walk? Share a bit more about your values and your beliefs. Here I do a post of me doing a speech for coaches, talking about sort of my hard work, my commitment, my dedication to how I ended up where I am now, trying to show people my values and my passion for what I do. Okay? And the other ways you can do that is, again, as you can see here, I share a bit about my life. So I'm just sharing like what I get up to in my spare time, things I enjoy, and things like that, really. So this stuff isn't rocket science, but it's important that you do it. And again, if you don't have this, it's like having an in-person business with just no shop front, boarded up windows with no products and no sign. And if you have that, no one's going to buy it. You're not even going to give yourself the opportunity to be able to sell anything. So this is why this is so important. And again, a lot of people have set up a social media, but if you haven't set it up in this way, I can guarantee you're leaving money on the table and losing potential clients. So first step, like I said, get this all in check. Get this sorted out, okay? So now at this point in the journey, you've defined exactly who you help. So you're clear on who you're trying to find and how to speak to them. You've designed your shop front to hook that specific person in, okay, from your marketing point of view. And like I said, the last tenet here, the last part of the holy trinity of marketing for your coaching business is traffic, right? Because here's the thing. I can show you who is your target avatar. I can show you how to define that. I can show you how to make your shop front look pretty so you hook people in. But if you're not getting eyes on you, then you don't have a business, right? And so traffic is getting eyeballs, essentially, and what to do with them. And this is the last part of marketing, right? And again, I just want to reiterate, how simple is this? Sure, you might need some help and guidance on defining this. Sure, you might want someone to review this for you, which again, I'm happy to do for anybody watching this, so feel free to drop me a message on Instagram. This stuff's easy. This is the stuff where people find it a little bit tricky. Now, getting eyeballs, there's a lot of different ways to do it, okay? You can do outreach. You can do organic content. You can run ads. You could do like podcast appearances. You could do like a newsletter on your email list. You could do a blog on your website and try to get organic views. There is one thing that I'm going to recommend for every single coach, if you follow these steps, to get the eyeballs. And that is to run adverts, right? The way I see it, if you don't run adverts, you don't have a business. And what I'm always telling coaches, which a lot of coaches don't understand, is that, especially on social media, like you need to pay to get customers. So the way to think of adverts is that you're giving Instagram money, for example, for them to find you business. So it's like an exchange. Here's £500, for example. Find me X amount of people, and one of them will become a £3,000 client, and I've just 6x my money. That's how you've got to think about it, right? But once you understand your client profile, once you've built your shop front, You need to drive people to this shop front, right? It's like these in-person businesses. If nobody walks past the outside of them, doesn't matter how good the shop looks, nobody's going to come in to buy because there's no one there to buy, right? So the last step, like I said, is adverts, to drive people to this page so that you have the opportunity to convert them and to have the opportunity for your shop front to do what it's meant to do, right? So now here's the thing with adverts. For a lot of people, I wouldn't recommend it because they don't know who their client avatar is and they haven't built a shop front. So because of that, there's no point running ads, because what you're hoping to get out of the ads simply isn't going to happen because you're not optimized in a way. But when you know exactly who your target avatar is and you've set up in a way where you're going to hook them in and they're going to want to see you, there's no reason for you not to run ads, because you're literally losing the opportunity of finding people. And especially with when you run ads to your shop front, they're extremely cheap ads, extremely cheap. I'm talking less than £1 for leads if you've got it really, really optimized, right? A couple of pences, like it's so cheap. So you're silly not to do it, right? Now, the type of ads that I recommend are something that I call evolved ads, and they don't use funnels. They use something that I have developed myself called Beaker principles, right? So the Beaker principles, very simply, obviously this is a funnel. Okay, that's a bad drawing. Let me try again. This is a funnel, okay? Right, you send people down and they come through the bottom and a lot of them disappear. And this is a beaker, right? So a beaker is just a different approach to lead generation. So instead of thinking, right, how do I run ads to funnel my traffic and to lose a massive portion of my leads? It's about, okay, how do I run ads to capture my traffic and convert it and nurture it and have it in my ecosystem for as long as possible? So essentially what we're doing is we're driving traffic into our shop front and we're locking the doors before they can get out. Now, again, we're not unethically locking the doors and trapping them in, but the way that we've optimized our shop front and our social media, and the beauty of social media, is that if somebody follows, they're now in your beaker. They're now in your ecosystem, and you can keep them there for as long as possible, as long as you're posting valuable content for them. It's literally as simple as that. So what you want to do is run adverts that drive people into your beaker, into your shop front, in through the door, and keep them in here and nurture them, right? And if you keep them in this social media and you nurture them in that way and you apply the beaker principles of thinking, okay, instead of losing this traffic and funneling it, how can I make sure that I capture it and convert it? You're really going to, honestly, your business will just completely transform, because here's what's going to happen, right? Your advert's going to be aligned with your target avatar. So they're going to be coming into you and they're going to feel like you understand them. They're going to land on your social media with the adverts that you're driving, and they're going to see your shop front and go, wow, okay, this coach is for me. They understand my problems. They can 100% help me. Let me look into them more and see how they can help. They're going to follow, they're going to be engaged, they're going to now be in your beaker. And now you have the opportunity to convert them, right? Because the way that you've set up your shop front, if somebody's following you or coming on your page or commenting and liking your stuff, they're doing that for a reason. They're not just looking at your page randomly. And the beauty of setting up your page in this way is that people that come in are in there for a very specific reason, okay? Because you're for a very specific person helping on a very specific thing. Same with a flower shop. If a customer comes into a flower shop, you know that they're looking for flowers because you've set up in the right way. If you set up a shop which sold flowers, video games, clothes, then you're not sure if the person's serious or if they're the type of person you want, because they might just be nosy. But by having a dedicated, tailored, specific marketing message, you're going to make sure that everybody that comes onto your page now is there for a reason. So if they're there for a reason, that's an opportunity to qualify them, right? So here's the flow that you do. So you define ICP, you build your shop front, like we have here, right? Once you've defined these and you're clear of these, you then run evolved ads, which are, like I said, the newest, simplest way of running ads, which drive people into your beaker, into the shop front, right? So no ebooks, no lead magnets, no webinars, no give me your name, email, phone number, none of that rubbish, straight into here, okay? Now again, because we're doing that, and the beauty of this compared to other ads is, like other ads, people can't really see who you, when you give somebody an ebook, nobody knows who you are, what you do, or that you're valuable to them. So by doing it this way, people know who you are, your story, your results, your expertise, and they're bought into you a lot more. Now, once you run evolved ads, now they're trapped in your beaker, which is now the opportunity where you can maximize the traffic and sell to them. And now once you're in your beaker, you can reach out to them and you can qualify and build relationships with people. And that then becomes an opportunity to book a call, to book a oh, that's a dodgy beat, book a discovery call, for example. And that discovery call becomes an opportunity for money. It is literally as simple as that. Like, how simple is that flow? Right, and we've done a lot of the heavy lifting here by defining the client avatar and show you how to produce the shop front. And then, like I said, it's just about setting up the adverts. As a byproduct of setting up your page in this way, you've built your beaker, so to speak. Then it's just about qualifying them, building relationships, booking a call, converting the call, and signing up clients. It's literally as simple as that. But like I said, I've tried pretty much every strategy under the sun when it comes to trying to get my clients results in the simplest and easiest way possible. And again, when I was working with coaches, I was like, right, coaches, again, they're not salesmen, they're not marketers, they don't want to be. How do we keep this as simple as possible as we can for them? And this is the flow. This is literally it. There's literally not complex at all. Tell me who you work with. Let's define it clearly. Set up a page so you can build your shop front, so you can hook them in. And once you've hooked them in, just create a very simple advert that drives people to that page on a daily basis, which gives you the opportunity of conversion on a daily basis. It's literally as simple as that. Literally as simple as that. If you can implement these three things into your coaching business for your marketing, you'll never fail. To give you some examples, I worked with a lady called Susanna, a career coach. She went from 5K in revenue in 2023 she was posting organic content, trying loads of things on LinkedIn, relying on referrals and just guessing when people would turn up, to implementing this very simple flow, this very simple holy trinity of marketing, building her shop front, implementing beakers, running evolved ads. And in 2024, she hit 76K in revenue. And pretty much all of that came from this. Right, I'll give you another example. Jane, a relationship coach, she was stuck at 5K a month with her business, spent thousands on failed marketing attempts. She tried the ebooks, tried the webinars, tried the lead magnets, all of this stuff didn't work. Tried this shop front approach and this beaker approach. She hit a record 17K a month not long after that. And again, I can keep going with examples, and you can feel free to verify this on the channel, on my Instagram, because I've got all the interviews with these guys. But it is so simple. So like I said, from this point, right, if you want to, message me on Instagram. I'll be more than happy to help you define your niche, to set you off on the right foot with this whole process. And then following from that, like I said, there's only so much I can cover in the video, otherwise I'll be sat here talking for hours on end. But if you want to get the ad strategy, right, and if you want to get the winning script that I've used for all the coaches on hand, and if you want to sort of learn more about the beakers, how you can then qualify people, build relationships, book them in for calls and turn them to clients. If you overall just want to stop worrying about sales and marketing for your coaching business, like I said earlier, well, then there's a link below. You can book in a call with me, and on that call, be a free, light-hearted chat. You can break down your situation for me in a bit more detail. And if I feel like I can help you, because not everybody I can, then I can just give you a very tailored roadmap and pass over to you these advertising scripts, these beaker guide, and just show you how it could work for you specifically. So the option for that's there. That will be in the description and the first pinned comment. And like I said, apart from that, if you've got any other questions at all, please do feel free to message me on Instagram. As you can see, it'll be links below, but this is also my username if you want to check it out. And yeah, I hope you found that useful. If you did, make sure to subscribe as well. I'm posting videos every single Tuesday to help you with marketing and selling your coaching business. So yeah, hope you found that useful. And if you have any questions, reach out to me.